All right. So we had several hiccups there when we were doing that recording. Don't worry about that. I found the issue. So even for me, this is something new. So there's a routing change in Laravel 8. As you remember, when I downloaded the Laravel folder, it actually downloaded Laravel 8. So there's a little bit of change in routing. It used to be that we used to create resource routes like this, where we don't give any information in the web.php about the classes, about where the controllers are located. It knows them and it finds them. Okay, so with the release of the level 8, there has been a change to the routing syntax, and you can see here, this is how it looks like. Okay, home index. Uh, of course, that is 8. Of course, yeah. So they have started using this idea of class names and also including the whole class. So you have to include this use statement in order to use it. Okay, maybe because it has created some issues previously, and that's why they have started using it this way. And then also you can see here, this is the real change. You have to give in this format, no longer in single quotes and with a class suffix. Yeah, no automatic controller declaration prefix. Okay, by default. So you have to give these things. Anyway, if you want to stick the old way, when you need to add a namespace property in the route service provider, so it was present in the previous versions and activates in the routes method. Okay, so there's a way to fix that. But okay, I like this new method. Actually, it's much more uh, practical, right? So this was the page where we were. We said when you click hotel, it gives you an error. When you click hotel, now we are here in the method, and this is the page that we have created. Okay, so based on the page that we have created here, here is the change. The same thing, but instead of hotel controller being in single quotes, we have to enter it as a separate class and then enter this line where our controller lies. Okay, so sorry about that. This is something new for me as well. In level 8 I was using previous version, and then there was no changes, and then when with this project we saw the changes. That's really good. You have to be familiar. Only trial and error will give you these kind of things, right? Okay guys, so what happens is when you have this resource route where the customer clicks /hotel, he'll end up in the index method in the hotel controller, and here we just tested our message box. We don't need it anymore, and we are going to return the customer hotel.create. So hotel.create is this page where you have hotel, and then here you are going to insert the details of the hotel, and you are just going to have a basic form where the customer fill it out. Let's go to the code and see this page. So this is actually a hotel page where you have create.blade.php, and in this page, let me get rid of this one. In this page you have here adding a new hotel, information about the hotel, then some menus. You can see here I have a little breadcrumb menu here, so this is kind of useful. And then you have here the actual form where the user submitted. What is important is this line. This is the location where you are going to submit your action, your form. So /hotel. So /hotel in a post method means you are submitting it to be stored. See, it is a post method, and /users or the name of the class is actually going to store the user. So what that does is when you fill this form and when you click this create method, which is a submit button, see, when you create this method, is going to submit the form into this location, and that means this is going to be our hotel controller store method. Where is it? Store method here. Okay, and of course I'm going to remove this line from here, and I'm going to place this uh, here, because this is the actual page where we are adding hotels. Okay, create method. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the index page, which is the main page where all the hotels appear. Let me refresh. Yeah, so right now there are no hotels, and of course it's created some hotels, some issues already, because we are not getting any data to the page. So let us go to the /create page, and we'll start here. So if there is no hotels, then there is nothing to display, right? So we haven't gone that far. So we need to have a single hotel right now in order for us to show any hotels. Okay, we can solve that problem actually, of course, but for now there is no hotels, right? So what really happen is when you are displaying all the hotels, you need to grab the information from the database. So we have the hotel, which is going to be our hotel. We could create a variable called hotel equal, and not equal, of course. So you say hotel variable is equal to hotel class. Okay, now these things, don't worry too much about what they are, and later on we will get back on this. So you are trying to receive all the hotels and then send it across to the web page, and that is done using a function called compact. You put inside the hotels. It's actually hotels because it's not one hotel, you are grabbing all the hotels. Now when you take these hotels into the page, you actually ask in the database to return. So this is how you return. Later on we will learn these things in Laravel. The database interaction is called Eloquent. So we are going to learn Laravel Eloquent, where we are going to grab information from the database without use of SQL. So hotel class is connected to the database. We know that it has a name. So when we say hotel all, is going to give us all the hotels, and then we can return this information to the uh, uh, file. A more common way is, let's say if you have 100 hotels, this is going to return all the hotels in one page. So another more efficient way of doing this is using paginet. There is a function called paginet, and how many do you like to show in one page? This is the way you do it. Hotel paginet, and give the number of records you want to appear on a single page. This is much better. So in index methods, try to have this idea. Now you go into this page and hotel.create, instead of hotel.create, hotel itself, that error will be gone. See, no more hotels, because there is no hotels, but still it pops up. It shouldn't give any errors. Even if there are no hotels, it shouldn't give errors. It should just say this page, and then you have this add a hotel button. Okay, so add a hotel is a URL where it takes you into this /create this thing. Okay, so click here, it takes you into this URL. See, hotel create, and create means, again, see, if you have create, it's going to take you into create method of your controller. So inside the create method we have a file here, hotel.create, which is going to return our create.play.php, and this is the file the user is seeing right now. And as I said, when he is submitting this page into /hotel page using post, it is actually going to go into the store method. So when you fill something here, let's say you have a page here where you are going to enter the hotel name. I have some sample hotels actually, which we can use. Let me try to sample data is there, but no problem, we can just enter any hotel. Relaxing, for example, relaxing. So this is a hotel name. So when you insert this information into the hotel, it will take you into this store method in the controller, where you are going to store the data to the database. So you are here now. So what few things you will do here: you can't enter a hotel that already exists. Also, you cannot enter you have to do some few validations, right? Like for example, first thing is you use this operator to validate this stuff that is being submitted into this controller, and you use the validate function in order to validate that the data is actually there, and this is a function you are creating to validate. Okay, sorry about this. Into this you pass in your array. So what are you going to validate? You are going to validate your request. You see this request that you get on this method. I'm going to set the request. I'm going to validate the request. Whatever data is coming from the web page, I want to validate them. Okay, so you have a small array here where you have some syntaxes that you are going to enter. Number one, we only have one variable here, and that is name. So basically what you do is you say name is a variable, and there is something you have to remember, and that is name is a required item. This is how you say, for example. If you want a specific length, that also you can give. We'll come back to those things later on. So this is a simple way of validating your requirement. One is whether it is a required field, whether it is digits, whether it has any specific other types of characters like minimum length and the maximum length, on those kind of things, which you'll see more when you learn a little bit more and try. Okay, so go on the internet, search more, try more on these kind of example validations, and you'll be able to do that as well. Okay, and now what you do is, if the validation passes, we only have one variable here, and that is we only have the hotel name. We are just going to create this hotel. So what will happen is you'll say $hotel equal. Okay, so you're going to create a hotel here using the hotel class, of course. So these things are, later on we will learn these things, these kind of things. See, hotel colon colon, hotel colon colon, customer colon colon. Actually they are known as facade. They are known as facade. We will study them separately. We are not going to go into details of how facade work, but we will see later on what we mean by facade. I'll show you another example of facade quickly when we are checking for another example of a hotel exists, whether the hotel exists or not. Okay, so this is an example of how you create a hotel. You say create and then send in the parameters. So see, you have hotel create, and send in the parameters required for the hotel. And again, these architectures are usually the same. You have a function, into the function you're going to send an array, and array is going to have the items. So hotel has a name column, and this name column is going to take the value from our request object, and in our request object there is a name variable that comes from the form. Yes, if you have seen, for example, this comma means later on we might add more fields. It's a approved way of entering the line. Okay, have it that way. Let me show you what I mean. Here we have input by the name of name, hotel name. We have an input type text, we have a name, so it's a text box. And there is something else that you haven't I haven't really talked about, and that is these things, errors. So this is also coming from the Laravel Blade engine, which is, if there is an error, it will automatically handle for you, provided that your name variable here and the name variable in your controller, these things match. So if the validations fail here, then it is going to give you an error. Okay, it's going to give you an error. Like, for example, I'll show you. After you create the hotel like this, then you say $hotel save. Okay, I know this is might be difficult and a little bit new for you, some of you. Don't worry about that, guys. Okay, slowly you'll come to get these things. Okay, so after doing this, you can just pop up an alert, as we just said earlier. So simple way of doing that is giving a success message. Just say success, and then so it will not wait for the user. Okay, added. So you can say a new hotel has been saved or added into the database, something like this. It's just an example. Alright, so every method should have where to take you next, and the best way to take you to the next place is to the index method. Okay, and that is called a rerouting. So you may actually take the customer into the return, sorry, let me have them here, return, I don't want to insert it here, return redirect. Okay, return redirect. Again, this is another facade. See, you're using redirect, and you're going to route the user into the create method. So that will be hotel.index. This means take the customer into hotel.index page. Sorry about this, index page. Yeah. Okay, so you're rerouting him into the hotel.index page after storing the user. So it's just a way of taking the user into the home page of hotels, of course. Right. So let's test it whether it works fine. See, for example, if there is nothing here, and you should press create, it's going to show you hotel name. This name field is required. See, that comes from that error. So relaxing, click create, and it's going to check the information, send it to the database and save if things are correctly entered, right? And I have a feeling that it will not, because we already have an error here, and that is, see here, this is a redirect. We are using this redirect, which means it's a facade, so we have to write here use redirect. It's like Java, you know, where you have import everything you are using. So now it will say, see, exactly, it redirect not found. It may have added to the database. Let's see, for example, select star from hotels, right? Because it may have added this. See, it's there. It couldn't find where to take the user because there was a rerouting, you know. So if you refresh again, maybe it will add the hotel twice. You see, it's already there twice. So this is a problem, and this we can solve the problem. See here, now there will be two hotels with the same name, relaxing, relaxing. So this is something we can solve immediately. So that's why I said, in the case of store method, you have to do a check first before you add a customer. You have to check whether this hotel exists or not. So in the store method, you can say, if the customer exists, then save. If the customer doesn't exist, then don't save. Okay, else you'll save the customer. So here you'll say, if, so there will be a case, if the customer exists, then we are going to do something. In fact, we are going to show an error message, you know. So alert, alert, we are going to do an alert, and this is a little bit of error type of message. So overlay an error, and the format is, you will give the title, attention, and then you'll give the message that you want to give, hotel already exists, and then you'll give one more item, and that is the actual error. So in error, this is something that will appear there, right? You can use single quote or double quote, both are fine. Alert, and then the condition is, if the customer does not exist, then only we will continue and add this. Yeah, so hotel.save, all these things. Yeah, we will only do these things if successful, otherwise we will take him into the file. Okay, so another thing you can do is, if the customer exists, let's say for example, if the customer, not the customer, if the hotel exists, if hotel exists, we will create this function. Exists is a better terminology. What do you need? You need to send in the hotel ID. So dollar request name. So you have to send in the name. You have to send in the name of the hotel. There cannot be two hotels with the same name, so we are sending the name into the variable, and this is going to be a function you create down here. So in addition to all these CRUD functions, all these resourceful functions, you can always create functions. We are going to make it as a private function, so others don't have access to it. Private function, hotel exists, and what you need is, you will need hotel name. Okay, so this is a hotel name that's coming from the database. Once you have the hotel name, you are going to check if the hotel exists or not. So a simple way of doing that is, in this function, you will just check dollar, it's a boolean function, hotel exists equal, you see, db. This is another facade. Facade is a shorthand form of a long class. So we, instead of giving the path, we are just giving the name of the class followed by whatever function we want to use. So go to the hotels class. Okay, go to the hotels class and look for, this is how you do it. Go to the hotel class, where name, okay, comma, where name is equal to name, dollar name, sorry. So if I have a hotel with this name, that means it exists, right? So I have to check if this exists. This is how we check, and then it will be true or false. So one of those things will be stored in the variable, and we will return this variable. So it will be true or false. The variable will be true or false. Simple as that. If the hotel exists, it will display uh, the hotel has been saved. The hotel exists. Otherwise, it will save. And there's something we can try. Let's try. Go to the Ada hotel, and let's do the same thing. Relaxing. Create hotel exists. Call to undefined function. Hotel exists. Okay, why? You don't have to. Hotel exists. This is the function, and I'm using this function here inside if condition. Where is it? Yeah, maybe some spelling mistake. So if hotel exists, you know, with this name, yeah, refresh. Why? Come on. So it says the function is not defined. Hotel exists, but I have it right there. So okay, guys, let's see what's the problem here. Private function. Let's make it public. I don't know. This has changed a little bit maybe. Again in Laravel 8. I'm going to do refresh, submit again. The function is private, still it can't find it. Public, it can't find it. So this is not the problem. It must be a private because it's the same function. If it is a function and the function exists in the class, why can't it find it? It's strange. If hotel exists, if the hotel exists, then it should return false. Hotel exists. So do we have to say to allow this hotel exists? Maybe. Let's wait and see. So few things have changed. This used to work earlier, and I'm seeing these errors, which we can fix, of course. Yeah, how? Okay, so that it is solved. So it's because of the use of this variable. Again, you see, we have not declared the facade. So db is something we are using. Okay, continue. Yeah, that is okay. So it couldn't show that message. Why? Because we are returning the user into this other view. So even if you have create here, it can't show that message because we are returning too quickly. So hotel dot here overlay. If this hotel exists, attention, hotel already exists, and then we return. So this also we have to remove. Copy. If we return it here, else we will return it. Okay. Else we will return it into create itself. We will wait there. Okay, the hotel. Sorry. At a hotel. Okay, relaxing is the name we used. Create. Okay, it waits on the same page, but why doesn't it show the message? Alert overlay errors message. So somehow the alert didn't appear. So many new changes which we are having here. I'm not sure where is the error here in this case. Is it because we are using double quotes? Let's verify. So these things used to work perfectly fine previously, and suddenly we are breaking down a little bit. Don't worry about that too much. You can always fix things, right, when there is an and issue an error. It's a matter of just trial and error. Okay. Add relaxing, create. It doesn't work. You can see here it didn't add them, but it doesn't show. See, it doesn't show the message box. So we can actually delete this hotel, but before we do that we have to try to check if why the error is not popping up. It is bringing us to the correct page here. See, if the hotel exists, then it is showing this error. It is taking us to the correct page, but it's not showing the overlay. So I'm going to check on this data, and for now it works. We are able to add a hotel, and that is a good start. So creating a file, creating a create page, taking the customer into the page, and then adding the data. This is something you have to try for now. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a while with another video where we'll go into the details of editing and listing all the hotels. How, for example, this listing of all the hotels appears here, how it is able to display all of them in a table. These things we'll go to in a separate video. Thank you very much.